Hey guys, and welcome to episode 9 of the podcast. In this episode, I got a chance to sit down with Brandon Kennedy. Now, Brandon and I, we've known each other for, I reckon, about 6 years now, but we've never actually sat down and had a long conversation together. And so that's why I brought him on the show. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I was expecting to enjoy it, but it exceeded my expectations. He's an interesting dude. He's got a lot of stuff going on. Just about to finish uni. He's been involved with like a solar car project, which he talks about, which is really interesting. What else? We talked about Elon Musk. We talked about marketing. The thing I love about Brandon as well is he has a real heart for people. Not only is he a super smart dude and he's very practical, but he actually has a real heart for people as well, especially younger blokes. And he talks about it in a podcast, so I don't want to butcher it too much, but he has a real passion to see guys become all that they can be and exceed their own expectations. And yeah, it's really cool to see someone who's still relatively young, really keen to invest in the younger generation before them, after them, the generation after them. Man. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this conversation. I had a ton of fun. I hope you enjoyed also. If you do enjoy it, hit that like button. Now we're getting real YouTubey, aren't we? If we say hit that like button, thumbs up. I never thought I'd say that, but anyway, we're doing this whole YouTube thing, so let's go for it. And smash that subscribe button. I promise I'll never say it like that again. I'm just trying to copy people. It's not the way to do things, is it? But anyway, please subscribe. It means the world. And as always, let me know in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like, because I love reading those, because I really want to make this the best possible podcast for you to listen to. So thank you so much again. I hope you enjoy this conversation with Brandon Kennedy, and I'm really excited to see you in the next video. Bye, guys. I was trying to think actually the last time that we kind of sat down and chatted. Man, it's been a few years.
I can't remember, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was trying to, same thing. I was trying to think. I couldn't remember the times I thought I want to sit down with Brandon and figure out what's going on in his life and what he's been up to. So are you on uni holidays at the moment?
Yeah, I'm still on uni holidays until 24th of February, I think.
It's crazy, hey?
It's a bit too long.
Yeah, it's nuts. I'm on uni holidays as well.
Oh, what are you studying? I didn't realize you were studying.
There we go. That's why you're on the show.
Yeah.
I'm studying graphic design. So,
okay.
yeah, I'm just a diploma.
Yeah, okay.
So I started mid last year. So I've only got another 6 months or something to go. Yeah,
it's only a year.
Yeah, it's just a year diploma.
Are you working?
Yep. So I'm working 3 days a week, but
Right.
my uni days are going to be Wednesday and Thursday.
Right. Hence
But-
why we could record today.
So I'm just going, oh, well, you know what? Wednesday and Thursday are podcasting days.
Nice.
Until uni comes, then it will be probably night times and weekends. But that's right. But yeah, no, it's great. What are you? You're studying mechanical engineering, yeah?
Yeah. In my last semester now, hopefully.
Oh yeah. Oh
As
wow.
long as everything goes well. I've only got 2 subjects left, and then I've got to get my work experience on top of that, which uni's like, you got to get 60 days of work experience so that we can say that you know what you're doing. And they don't really help you find that.
Yeah, that's tough. So you got to approach companies.
It's had to be me just searching and trying to find connections, but looks like I might have a connection at Worley.
Oh, Woolley Parsons.
Yeah, it's now Worley. Mr. Parsons left apparently.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, my uncle has a good mate who's like pretty high up in the business.
Oh,
there,
cool.
So
Because that's a big company as well.
very big.
Well known, good experience.
International too. So if I can get my foot in the door there, that's phenomenal.
Go and be in the Bahamas or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they have projects there. But
Yeah, I don't know if they do. I'm sure they do mechanical engineering somewhere there.
Probably. I know they have offices in Indonesia.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's on the way.
Close enough. Halfway there.
Yeah, it's close to it, yeah. So what do you... That's the thing. So I looked at... I thought you were studying mechanical engineer. When I looked at your Facebook yesterday, it comes up with student engineer at... Is it Team? I wrote this down, but I can't remember.
Oh, Team Arrow. Yeah.
So is that a solar thing or something?
It's a solar racing team. I've only been doing it since I think August.
Yeah, okay.
And it's not a paid position whatsoever, and I don't even know if it counts towards my work experience, but it's just good fun because I get to work on a solar racing car.
That's awesome.
the car had a mechanical difficulty on the last one that I'm not going to go into for the sake of Team Arrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was just fun to do experience and just learn a bunch of stuff. I worked on the brakes.
Yeah, nice.
And I did some stuff on because it's made of carbon fiber, so I did like treating the carbon fiber and stuff like that.
So what race is it? So
it's part of the Bridgestone World Solar Challenge.
Okay.
They race all over the place. I think last year it was from like Darwin down to Adelaide or something.
So it's on like a closed road.
No, it's open road.
Open road. Okay.
They have to have like a lead in a chase car.
Yeah, right.
And everything, and like it's long.
Sweet.
It's really, really.
So
long.
it's like an endurance race, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the racing class is called Challenger. But it's basically like get there as fast as you can.
Yeah.
In the most efficient way. Like if you stop to charge your vehicle, then you get
points deducted, sort of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But you get like increased points based on how many people in the car. So if you can have 2 instead of 1, you get more points.
So is it like a legit car? I just remember I've seen a movie. It's really old now, but it was like a solar car movie. I can't even remember what movie it was called, but imagine like it was just like this super flat car thing that looked like a spaceship and it had one seat.
That's one of them. That was
what am
so
I
the races are 2 years apart, and the last one we did was the Challenger one, which was like the most efficient one. The one before that, they was exactly like that.
Okay,
it was like a really flat body, with like 4 little prongs for the wheels.
Yeah, that's like what I've seen. It didn't really resemble like a car.
No, it didn't. But it was. I think it's like 300 kilos max.
Wow!
Like 2 people could pick it up if they're strong enough.
That's crazy.
And
because it's all carbon fiber, I guess.
Yeah, all carbon fiber. It's made to be efficient.
Yeah. Whereas this time around, it's more. Are they intentionally trying to replicate, within reason, a car on the road?
Yeah.
To feed some of that.
Have you seen it or looked?
No, I haven't seen it.
I don't know my phone on me, but I could.
No, that's all right. But I'm guessing it is well, people can Google it, I guess.
Yeah.
What is it?
Team Arrow.
Team Arrow.
Yeah.
So it's like a car looking car.
Yeah.
That's not the
it's
right
more
terminology.
realistic. It looks sleek, kind of like a supercar, I suppose.
Yep.
But nowhere near as fancy or as expensive.
Yeah, because you still want it to be super efficient.
Yeah.
To get as far as possible.
Yeah. It's kind of like a bullet sort of design.
Yeah, righto. Okay.
And it's got like a catamaran channel down the middle as well.
What's that? What's that for?
I don't know.
Aerodynamics or something
like that.
And so but the whole thing is powered by solar, like solar
there are
batteries.
Yeah, it charges the batteries.
Yeah.
But more than anything, it just keeps the batteries alive.
Yeah.
Because solar is really inefficient.
Yeah.
Like I remember doing an experiment I was grade 11 or 12 physics, and we tested like how good solar power was and how you could optimize it with different colors. It's really crap.
Yeah.
Like it's going up. Like people are researching and making it better, but it's really not that efficient.
Yeah. I guess that's why you see these new solar farms, right? And it's just like
they're enormous.
A massive, yeah. And it's the size of them compared to, say, a coal power station or even like nuclear hydro. It's just you need so much more infrastructure to get the same sort of thing. How'd you get into that? It seems like an odd thing to just sort of fall into. Did you have to apply for that? Or
not really. Like anyone can, even non-engineers can rock up and just be like, "Hey, I just want to check it out." And
so they're just looking for like people to help and volunteers.
It's all volunteers. Like, there's no pay in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And excuse me. Samuel Eames.
Yes.
He goes there, and he was on the mechatronics team, but he just does media now.
All right.
But I didn't actually go in through him because my mum worked with the treasurer of Team Arrow, who was an electrical engineer.
All right.
Because my mum's an IT business analyst.
Yeah.
And
sounds so fancy, like FBI
it does,
business. Oh, I just heard analyst.
I just know that she talks between clients and the people that code everything.
Yeah.
This is what they want.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, so
she was your in kind of thing.
My mum was my in, which is kind of weird, and she offered it to me in like second year through that same person. Was like, hey, this colleague of mine is the treasurer at this place. You can get work experience. And I was like, nah, I'll find work experience at a big company.
Yeah,
I'm gonna apply for the vacation programs. Get myself in there, but that never happened because those are like cream of the crop sort of stuff.
Yeah. Plus, you probably. I don't know. I've never done it, obviously, but you're probably getting more experience, hands-on experience, and actually having more responsibility than you would if you were just you know, paper pusher kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like get some coffees. I don't know if that's exactly how it is nowadays.
And it's probably not getting the coffee part, but the paper pushing, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like it's writing reports.
Go and fill out this spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to love it.
So have you always wanted to, like mechanical engineering, have you always wanted to do that? Have you always been interested in that?
I always wanted to do engineering, but I hadn't decided on what field yet.
Okay.
Like my parents just, at the age of 2, they got me on puzzles.
Yeah,
and
right.
Just, I don't know, my brain just developed into being able to solve problems and
that's what you like is the problem solving side.
I like to solve problems.
Awesome.
And my parents were like, he's going to grow up to be an engineer. And I was like, I don't know about that. And then, well, here I am.
Here you are.
So
it worked out.
I got to the end and I'm like, you know what? It sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
I like the sound of it. Let's do it.
And it seems like it's one of those like professions as well that kind of feeds into so much stuff. Like you hear about so many different, even like CEOs of totally different companies, but then you look at their credentials and they're like they've done either mechanical engineering or electrical engineering. Like so many like tech guys, like guys that have created like a software company. When you look into it, they've done say electrical engineering and then computer science and computer engineering.
Like I think Elon Musk did.
Yeah, he's
like software engineering or something.
He's incredible, hey.
Yeah, he's pretty nuts.
He's like seems like one of the only guys. I'm sure there's others out there, but he's the CEO and the face of the company, but is also like hands-on solving the issues and working out the maths, which I didn't realize until maybe a year ago or something when he was on the. Have you heard of the Joe Rogan podcast? Yeah. He was on that podcast.
He's on it a few times, hasn't he?
I think so. Oh, I think he was just on the one. Remember he got in all that. Well, there was like
weed or something?
Yeah, he smoked weed on it, and they're like, "Oh no, like the stock prices." Apparently, the stock price like went down, but then just came back up the next day or something. But I watched another interview of him actually at Tesla, and he's like talking as if he's the CEO, but then all of a sudden he starts like opening up the door of the Tesla and he's like, "Oh, see, like this, I designed this, like I did all this." And you're like, wow. But then he's not only doing Tesla, he's doing SpaceX as well.
Yeah.
Is it SpaceX?
Yeah.
The rockets. And then he's got, have you heard of like his tunnel company called the Boring Company?
Yeah.
Boring Co. or
made
something.
like flamethrowers or something.
Yeah, he made like a flamethrower.
I didn't realize it was a tunneling company.
Yeah, so that's why it's called the Boring.
That makes sense.
Because they bore holes.
Different
but I think his vision behind that is they're creating these like high-speed tunnels under like LA and stuff because LA traffic's just rooted. Like
I mean, I've been to Sydney and that's terrible.
Yeah. Well, think of from what I hear, I've never been there, but think of that times about 30 or 50. You know? I don't know why I chose 30 as the first one. Seems odd, but yeah, he's got like these cool. I saw they've got like a prototype where you put a Tesla onto it, and then it just like shoots the Tesla like through the tunnel kind of thing. Like it's on on a rail sort of thing. Oh. Yeah, so there's this kind of high-speed travel from place to place.
Like a conveyor belt, or travelator.
Sort of, yeah. And then I think he was also doing the Hyperloop. Have you heard of that?
It's a train, isn't it?
Similar, yeah. So it's like a vacuum tube, but and then they have like a carriage inside of it. But because it's in a vacuum, there's no like resistance.
Yeah, right.
So it can go like stupidly fast. I don't know who's going to put their hand up to be like the first person to try it out.
Test it.
Seems pretty, but they've got like all the infrastructure tested in some desert because their whole idea is like if we can set that up, then it just alleviates all those traffic problems. So
and then you can put that into like a subway station.
Yeah, exactly. Because
super quick.
They're like, well, you can't build up anymore. Like there's only so many like ramps and stuff you can put up.
Yeah.
You might as well start going down. But I think as well, in LA, they have so many earthquakes, or they have a lot of like it's like an earthquake prone area. But he's figured out some way to dig all the tunnels that they're not affected by earthquakes. So, I don't know. He was using all these like 12-syllable words. I had no like. It's just I was like, okay, I understand some of this. So while I'm listening, I'm just like Googling or Wikipedia And Wikipedia again? Yeah, something like that. And you just go down this like rabbit hole. I'm like, yeah, this guy is intelligent.
He is pretty smart.
Yeah, he talks like a robot. He's got some questionable business practices, I think. Like there's a lot of people aren't very happy with him around the whole Tesla thing.
I think a lot of people aren't happy with SpaceX too. Like, did you hear about that interview? Oh, it was like Neil Armstrong or something. Those guys who are like throwing shade on him for trying to get to space and make it commercial. Have you heard about that?
I've heard that there were people that were upset with it.
Yeah, like
why are they upset though?
I don't know, because I think they're saying like it's too dangerous to go into space, and why would you make it a commercial thing? People are just going to die. And like these were Elon Musk's like heroes. Like they were his inspiration to do it.
Oh, I've heard him talk about. He was devastated.
Yeah, he was cut really deep. Yeah, I don't know. Like that would have sucked.
It's that kind of talking or thinking really feeds into the whole conspiracy of like this conspiracy theory of like we didn't go to space.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that because people were like, "What if we did go to space? Why are they so upset about us going there again?" Like,
good point.
You know, like not that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I find it interesting, kind of entertaining some of those ideas. But they're like, surely Neil Armstrong, if it's like one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, or whatever, would be like, this is the next step. You know, like
that's a good point.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I was watching some conspiracy theorist guide. He's like, "This is proof that we did." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if it's proof, but it's
we've caught Bigfoot.
Yeah,
here's the proof."
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't. It kind of like it does feed into that kind of thinking.
Like, I get it. I get
if you were very anti, we didn't go to space, which a lot of people are, and I don't know where I stand on that, to be honest.
I want to believe that we did because. Like, God created this amazing universe. Why aren't we exploring it?
Yeah, exactly. I'm all for it. I don't know about living on Mars, but if people want to live on Mars, like, eventually we've got to do something, I guess. Like, if there's only so much this world can take, I guess. And Elon's like, what's the next best place? Mars. Yeah, it sucks at the moment. Yeah. There's not much there. It's a bit of a desert, but I've seen like I don't think it was related to SpaceX, but it was like another company. They were like trying to work out how they could grow crops on Mars. So they like, I think it was actually one of those kind of like science competitions where they go, "This is the problem. If you solve it, we'll give you $1 million or whatever," like that. And so they replicated the soil conditions and the environmental conditions of Mars. Then they had to try and figure out how to grow stuff, and I think they like managed to grow some things. So it's pretty cool.
I remember hearing that they'd have to like set off nuclear bombs in the atmosphere to create an ozone.
Really?
Yeah, like because there's no atmosphere.
Yeah,
and like they'd have to set off nukes that'll just like disperse all this carbon dioxide.
Okay. Because at the moment the sun just hits her straight away.
Yeah, it just cooks everything.
Yeah, wow. Well, I think like the way I think about it, I don't imagine if we eventually move to Mars, well, if some people move to Mars, like it's not going to be like we're just going to have green grass everywhere. And,
if that's going to be a couple of centuries later.
I always picture it as in like this futuristic view of like, have you seen Total Recall or something?
No, I haven't.
It's like an older, I think it had Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's pretty old now. Like it's a pretty cool movie, but I reckon if I watched it again, I'd be like, "Oh, this is awful." But they're like inside this big like dome vacuum thing. I only remember that because at the end, I'm just about to ruin the movie, but I think it's like over 20 years up, so who cares?
If you haven't watched it, it's your fault.
The bad guy, I think they like Arnold Schwarzenegger in one of his punchlines, like puts him outside the dome. And his eyes like get sucked out of his head because of the atmosphere. I remember as a little kid like freaking out, like this is awful. And then I watched a YouTube clip of it not that long ago. I was like, how was I scared of this? The CGI is horrendous.
Just like pixels.
Yeah, but it is interesting. It is. I always think this is the way my brain works. I don't know if your brain thinks this as well. I'll often think, I wonder what it's going to be like in like 200 years. And I try and picture that, and then I get a bit sad because I'm like, Oh,
I'll be there.
I won't be
Yeah.
around unless something changes.
Mm.
But yeah, all that stuff's nuts. We're on the. It's a pretty crazy time to be alive, like with technology and everything. Eh?
And like technology grows at like an exponential rate.
Yeah,
Like I remember seeing like a study on it, and like technology. You think back to 100 years ago, and technology was like increasing exponentially then too.
yeah.
But then like because you zoom into what we're doing now, the graph shrinks down. It's like nothing. And
Yeah. Well, think of even how much growth has happened in the last. I'm thinking of 20 years, for instance. Like when I was, 20 years ago, I was, say, 9. Geez, that's scary to say.
I was 2.
You were 2. So I remember we got our first kind of home computer, and we were pretty late to the party as a family. But it was this like, I don't know much about computers, but it had like demos on it, like demo games, and it had Need for Speed 1, like the very first Need for Speed, like all these old school games. And you could barely do anything on this thing, right? And then, say 10 years later, I got my first phone, whatever that was. It was like a Nokia 3315, which you could play Snake, and it was one color, which was green.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is the sickest thing ever. And then my mate got like a Nokia 3320, and it had like flashing lights on the side. I was like, this is the future. All I want is this phone, because now you can play Snake, but it was like Snake 2 or something. I was like, heck yeah. And now look at what we have. Like, I got to get a new phone soon. And you look at it and Google it, and you're like, holy crap. Things are incredible nowadays. Like,
it's pretty crazy. I remember having one of those crappy Nokias. I think I got one in like grade 6. Mum was like, you can have a phone, but it's going to do nothing.
Yeah.
If you're dying, you can call us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool.
Emergency only. Yeah.
And then it just like stepped up. I got like one of those keypad Nokias.
Oh, yeah,
like the full QWERTY keyboard.
Oh, yeah,
that was the bomb.
Yeah.
And then all my friends were getting this phone called a web slider.
Web slider?
It was like one of those flip up ones.
Oh, like horizontal flip up?
Horizontal flip up. And it was like, if you had that,
the boss,
you were in charge.
Yeah.
Like, it was the best.
I remember when phones were so cheap that they had, there was a Coke. Do you remember the Coca-Cola phone at all?
No.
It was like Coke did it as part of like some giveaway. But like it was literally like, I saw one the other day, and it's tiny, and it's just this little, it's like a off-white sort of color. But they were so cheap back in the day that they were just, you could like, get enough Coke bottles, and then hand the labels in, they give you a phone, like a full working phone.
Far out. Like a Nokia sort of.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah,
ran all the same, whatever software they used to run back then. I don't know what it was, but yeah, it was a phone. My mates all had them. I'm like, how did you get them? They're like, I just drank a lot of Coke, but I wasn't allowed to buy enough Coke to get a phone.
I got a phone and diabetes.
Yeah. I remember I went from a 3315 to a Motorola, like a flip phone. Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Looking back, you're like, why did I have a flip phone? But I remember you're just in awe of like this technology. And I don't think it even had a camera still. I might have had like this terrible camera. And now the new iPhone's got like 3 HD cameras on it or something.
What about the new Motorola flip phones that they've got touchscreen? Have you seen those?
No.
Motorola's created a new flip phone.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Touchscreen. So like glass on the top and bottom with like a plastic in the middle that it folds on.
But what do you mean by touchscreen? Because I feel like every phone's touchscreen.
Yeah, like it's a regular smartphone, but it folds. Like the screen folds.
So is it really small then in your pocket?
I think so.
Or is it still really big?
It's pretty big apparently, but like...
Because I saw that Samsung, the one that's like a book.
Yeah,
Seen that one? I don't think it went too well. I think you were like, I'll wait until until you perfect this a bit more. I watched a few like, is it Casey Neistat and do you know MKBHD or whatever? He's like that really famous tech vlogger guy, YouTuber.
I mean, I've probably seen a video.
Yeah, you've probably seen him. I think he reviewed it. He's like, yeah, it's a little while off before this thing gets any good. I think I could be putting words in his mouth, but yeah, technology is incredible. I like Moore's law is that kind of exponential growth. And, it feels like we've plateaued. I remember thinking this as well. I was like, it feels like we've kind of plateaued at the moment. But then when you actually start looking at all the stuff that's happening, there's a lot of stuff happening with like VR and what's the other thing? VR and then like
Augmented
reality, all that. It's not really like available so much for us as consumers at the moment, but they're using that a lot in like training, and that sort of stuff. Like this is the future.
Yeah, and like right now it's not available to us, but it will be.
Yeah, very soon.
Back on Tesla, he was making cars really expensively, but then he was working to make them cheaper so that it could be readily accessible to everyone.
And they're still expensive, but like not really in the grand scheme of things compared to like what they could be for sure.
Exactly.
And I feel like he was also the first one to kind of make electric cars that weren't wanky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there used to be like he made the electric car cool, like a cool thing to have.
Like who bought a Prius?
Yeah. Prius was kind of like this. I don't know how much Priuses were, but one, they were friggin' ugly. I think they're still around. And also, like, if it wasn't a symbol of like, okay, you're a high flyer, like you've made it.
It's like the lower end.
Yeah, whereas the Tesla is kind of like this. I think a lot of people who know what a Tesla is will look at someone and go, okay, you obviously have a bit of cash. Well, you did have cash. You now spent it on a Tesla. Yeah. But you either all you care about is thinking that you're green because Teslas really aren't that green. That's
like all the carbon dioxide releases in making the car.
Oh yeah,
and then when you fuel it with non-renewable sources, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's still the same emissions.
Yeah, exactly. Like the electricity still comes from most. Like if you have a Tesla in Queensland in Brisbane and you go and charge it. Your electricity is coming from a coal power station out in Ipswich somewhere. So, like, one of the big things people say, oh, if we all drove like electric vehicles, the world would be so green. Be like, at the moment, no, because our like grid couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
like we can barely handle it as it is during the heat wave. They're like turning off suburbs and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, because they had a bunch of power stations like out of action. They were doing maintenance or something
during the fires. But
then also during the hot weather because everyone turns their aircon on.
Yeah, true.
And the power stations can't keep up. Yeah,
that's crazy.
A lot of it. I remember a couple of years ago they had a huge heat wave down in Adelaide. I think it was from the heat wave, and the city was out of power.
Oh, wow.
And that's when Elon Musk, he was like, I can fix this problem. And then he came and installed some big ass battery or something, I think. And the government were like, we can't fix this problem. And he's like, I can fix the problem. And so he came in and
fix everything. And
it was a bit of a publicity stunt for him as well, I think. People were like, oh, we should buy Tesla because Elon Musk is the greatest. Yeah, it worked. Definitely. But
it's like those ads that are just so weird that you remember them forever.
Yeah. It's good marketing, hey?
Yeah, like those budget direct ads lately. But like the alien abduction. Like,
oh, yeah.
It's like the Irish dude. You're paying way too much for your insurance.
You're paying way too much for your
I remember seeing that in cinema for the first time. It was like a full 2-minute long. I thought it was a movie trailer.
Yeah, it's so true.
And then it got seen, it's like, paying way too much for your insurance. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm going to remember that, but that's stupid.
Yeah, the same as like that. The one that I find really catchy is that compare the market with those meerkats. I read somewhere, because part of my design course we like learn a bit about advertising and stuff, that the compare the market, like they were going pretty well as a company.
Yeah.
But then as soon as they like employed that marketing campaign with the meerkats, it's just like skyrocketed. Gone crazy. Because people go, and they think, oh, I need to find a website that compares stuff. You think of compare the meerkats or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? To the point where you type in compare the meerkat or whatever. You know, like that's what
they've made a website for it.
Oh, did they?
I remember looking it up. They made a website where you could compare meerkats.
Yeah.
As like a...
That's awesome.
It was so stupid, but there was like a link to compare the market. And
yeah.
It was like,
that works. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just marketing, hey?
Clever marketing.
And it's everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about marketing. Like, I never really appreciated it, and I still don't have a good understanding of it because we don't really touch on marketing too much. We just at a base level, but like every single thing you've ever purchased has been influenced by marketing somehow, whether that be directly from a marketing agency on an advertisement or marketing from a friend recommending it, like this sort of thing. And so, and like marketing agencies will intentionally create ads that speak to people so much that they do go and refer to a friend.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just nuts. You're like, we're all part of a system.
Yeah. It's a pyramid scheme. We didn't realize.
The world is a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
And I remember the bottom of it.
Yeah, I remember hearing like on marketing, because my cousin worked in, like, studied marketing at uni, and he's saying like sometimes what they'll do is they'll shrink the size down and then do a big one. It's like mega size. It's like a new one.
Yeah, right.
And I remember watching it, and Nutrigrain did it.
Oh, like of the product.
Yeah, like they make the boxes smaller, then they go like mega size one, and just put up the price only a little bit. And it's
value
like,
for money.
Better value.
Yeah.
And they just do it on a loop.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember seeing it firsthand. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it makes sense, hey.
I mean, it works.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm getting more Nutrigrain.
Yeah, it's like when you go to a chemist or something. I had to buy deodorant today. And so they put the prices and it's like, $7.95 or whatever. But then they have the price for 2 is $9.95. And in my head I'm like, ooh, 2 for $9.95. And I'm like, well, no, I only need 1 deodorant can. Like I'm saving money. And you're like, I guess you are saving money in the long run, but I don't need to. I'm still wasting $2.95 because I already have 5 deodorant cans somewhere else. Just those little things where you have to grab. Well, I have to grab myself and go, oh, hang on, what are we trying to do here? One of the things I do, it's a bit weird, I guess, is these sensory deprivation tanks, like these floats that I do. Have you heard of that sort of stuff? Yeah. So I love them. I just did it to try it one day, and it's awesome. But I try and do it every couple of months or something. I went and did one of them yesterday. Came out and these two ladies on the sales desk, they were trying to push me to become a member of the place. And it was nuts. I was like, I just want to pay for my float today, thanks. And like, oh, you should consider this. It's $52 a month or whatever, and we'll put a float on your account. Sounds awesome, but not interested in signing up. And they just kept pushing and pushing and pushing to the point where I was like, guys, I just want to pay for my float.
Yeah.
I need to go now. It was crazy, but you can see how people would look at that and go, wow, I can save $500 over the course of a year. But and they're like, oh, the science has proven that the more you do this, the better you get at it. And I'm like, oh, I like everything really. It's just practice, isn't it?
Life.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if that's necessarily groundbreaking science.
Yeah.
But have you done a float?
No, I have no idea what it's like. What is it like?
It's so good
because you're suspended in water and you have no senses.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a evangelist of it, I reckon.
Okay.
I just because I really like it. I heard it on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I was like, if Joe says it,
It's gotta be good.
I'm not that much of a devotee to him, but I was like, I'll give it a crack because I had heard him talk about it, and then a bunch of other people. So on my birthday, I was like, I'll give it a go. So I went to a place. The first one I did was in a place in Cooperoo.
Okay.
I can't remember what they're called. Float City or something. I think it's Beyond Rest. But anyway, so it's this like a pod, like a fiberglass kind of pod. Probably maybe 2 meters, probably 3 meters by you could touch either side.
It's big.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, I was thinking a tanning bed sort of size.
No, it's big enough that you can touch either side, but you would have to be pretty bloody tall to not fit in it.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty big.
So I'm pretty fine.
Oh, yeah, you'd be great. And then it's, they talk about all the details. I don't know them all, but it's essentially it's got a crap load of salt in it. I think it's Epsom salts or whatever. So you float on top of it. Similar to the Dead Sea. Have you seen that?
So you're not in it, you're floating on it.
Well, you're in it, so it's water, so you step into it almost like a bath, and it's only, what's that? Maybe 40 centimeters, 50 centimeters deep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably about that. So you sort of step in and then you sit down, but then, and so you get in and then you're like, if you sit down, you're sitting on the ground, like a bath. But then as soon as you lie back, because it's so buoyant, it just kind of like lifts you up.
Yeah. Right.
So when you're lying there, you're only like half of your body is really in the water because you are sitting on top, but then it's also heated to your body temperature. Well, it's heated to what the human body temperature usually is. So I'm sure there's fancy ones that kind of measure your body temperature and adjust. But the whole idea of that is you don't feel the water on you because it's exactly the same temperature. You don't, if you're in like a cold pool, you can feel that sensation. Yeah. You feel it as soon as you get in, but after like a couple of minutes, you don't feel the water on you anymore. So you feel like you're literally just floating on air. But then it's also there's zero light, and you pull a little pod thing down, and then you put plugs in. So you just like it sounds when I talk about it.
It sounds really weird, like some Stranger Things business.
Yeah. And you plug your brain in like the Matrix. No, you don't do that.
Suck it all out.
But what I find really cool about it is, and the one that I go to now though, it's more of like it's not a pod. It's just like a big bath almost, like a pool. And then there's a light that you can turn it light on and off. And then there's like music, and you can have that on or off. So that kind of like generic rainforesty, crappy day spa kind of music. So the way I kind of do it is I have that on for like 10 minutes, and then it just fades out, and I'm in there for like 90 minutes or something, 60 minutes.
Do you fall asleep in it, or you just sit?
You can. Some people fall asleep, but I like the way that the reason I like it is because my brain's always going like 1,000 miles an hour. Like I'm always constantly thinking, like as we're talking, I'm constantly trying not to do it, but I'm thinking about the next thing, or, you say something, I'm analyzing that in my head. And so I can't just I struggle to just okay, I just got to relax and just sit on a couch or even go to the beach. Like, you don't sit on the beach. I can relax, but I can't necessarily switch my brain off.
Yeah. Okay.
So what I like about the sensory deprivation is it shuts everything out so that it's just your head. And then you can either use that to think then to a lot of people, they say that a lot of business people or whatever, for instance, will go in before a big meeting or after a meeting and really think about what they're going to say, or comedians and speakers and writers go through and think about how to form their act or something like that.
Like, I had in my head the opposite. I was like, escape from your thoughts, but that makes sense. Like, you're cutting everything else out.
But I like to just sort of focus on my breath. I guess it's the closest thing to meditating. I tried meditating and I'm useless because I just get distracted by something shiny. I'm like, and I'm out of it. Like I'll be there for 2 seconds and I'm over here, which is not a bad thing, but this doesn't give me the opportunity to be distracted by other things. And so what I kind of do is I just focus on my breath, like breathe in and out. And then as I start thinking about something else, I'll just try and bring myself back to the breath. That it's talking about it sounds like super woo-woo kind of thing.
Sounds very hippie, but
it does sound very
cool.
But it's just a cool experience because it's the closest thing to being completely sensory deprived. And also it's really good for muscles and stuff because you can now I'll lie with my hands this way or this way or whatever, and I find it soothes all my muscles. After going to the gym or whatever, I hadn't done it for a month, and you just get real tight. That the fact that you're
completely relaxed, but also
probably magnesium, all the salt and magnesium.
Yeah.
You come out feeling really awesome.
There you go.
It has such an effect that the first sort of half hour when you first come out and walk into society, it's everything's really loud and you're like, oh man, it's so much.
The opposite of coming out of a concert.
Yeah,
I can't hear anything.
Yeah, you're everything's. It's quite intense. Well, I find it still pretty intense because it's quite a sensory overload because you've just had that deprivation.
There you go.
It's a pretty cool experience. Like,
I wonder what that would be like for people with autism. Because like back when I taught martial arts, I taught heaps of autistic kids.
Yeah.
And like some of them hated sensory input, some of them loved it.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would help some of them or not.
I reckon it probably could.
Like some people who just get too much sensory and they just need to escape it.
Yeah, I reckon it would be. It'd probably be tough. It takes like the first one is rough. Like I struggled. I was like, oh, I'm not used to this. But then if you can start to get your body used to it, it could be really good. The things that I've heard them talk about, how it's meant to be like really good for helping with depression, and anxiety, because you know how you build stuff up in your head so much, and so it kind of gives you a chance to actually start to process some of those thoughts and feelings. You know, if you're really depressed, they say like they can actually start to kind of analyze why they're depressed, or you know, go, oh, I'm really upset about this, and because they haven't got everything coming at them and there's no pressures coming at them, they can either look at it and go, that's not as bad as I'm making it out to be, or here's a strategy that I can work through that with. Yeah, it's quite interesting.
There you go.
Apparently, yeah,
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, from memory, that was one of the real big things, was like, helps with depression. But I'm sure, autism's a good one. I reckon that would probably help for sure.
Yeah, because I remember teaching one boy. He's a lovely kid, but like he was so schizo sometimes.
Yeah,
like he was just energy through the roof. He just wanted to touch everything and stare at the lights to get input, and then the next minute he's just like, I need to shut off from everything.
Yeah, it just becomes way too much.
Yeah, he just can't handle it.
Just melts down kind of thing.
And like something like that I reckon might help him.
Yeah. The cool part is apparently if you do it for long, like extended periods, it kind of can have that effect of like psychedelic drugs on you.
Wow. I've heard that actually.
Because you can go into, like, I remember yesterday I did did nothing really happen too much. Like it was great. I could think about some stuff, but I reckon it was either the time before or the time before that. I lost it was only like after 15 minutes. I couldn't figure out, my body couldn't figure out if it was horizontal or vertical.
Oh wow!
because you don't have that sensation, and you have to relax into it. But I just felt like literally I was floating. I was like, this is awesome. You know, it was really cool.
I remember, like, astronauts, they sleep in zero gravity.
Yeah.
And they literally, like, strap themselves into, like, a sleeping bag, and their arms are just, like, floating around.
It's pretty awesome, huh?
I reckon that's probably the same situation.
Probably, because you just don't have any of that. Your brain doesn't have that sensation. Like, there's a little bit of gravity, obviously, but like it's nowhere near compared to an astronaut. Yeah, exactly. But the crazy
thing... Is your
thing...
head completely, like, balanced in the water as well?
Yeah, so they have, like, these little neck float things you can use. I've never used one, but yeah, you can just put your head back or put it right back. You just don't want to get that in your eyes, like otherwise it stings. Like
it's probably people sweating it too.
Yeah, well, it gets filtered, which is cool.
Okay.
So as soon as you jump out, this big filter comes on. But everything, like, it's so salty that everything would just be dead in it anyway.
Yeah,
no bacteria could live in there, I don't think, from my limited science knowledge. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I reckon everyone should try it at least once.
Okay.
There's people that are scared of it. Like, even Denny, she's like, oh, I don't want to drown. I'm like, you're not going to drown. It's impossible. No one has ever drowned. And also, like, as soon as you put some of that stuff in your mouth, you'd be like, it's all over. Because even if you fall asleep, the way that the buoyancy works is you can't roll around.
Yeah.
Well, you could, but it just takes a lot of effort. It's not like...
Probably because, like, your shoulders are wide enough that...
Yeah.
If you try and roll, you're just dipping one side.
Because you're still a human. Like, you're not... It's not like you're in zero gravity. Where you can cruise around. Like, you still know what's up and what's down and everything. I saw the interesting thing about that, the International Space Station. We're going on so many tangents here. That's good. They were talking about, like, they're doing... You remember that Commander Chris Hadfield? He was like the Canadian
I know the
guy.
Moustache or something.
Yeah, he was famous for, like, kind of doing YouTube videos and stuff
Yeah,
from the International Space Station. He was doing a tour, and so they're in like this essentially like a tube, right? And there's like laptop here, laptop there, laptop there, laptop on the floor. And the person from America, or whatever, was like, "Why are there like laptops on the floor and on the ceiling and stuff?" He's like, "You got to stop thinking that way." He's like, "There's no floor or ceiling."
Yeah.
He's like, "My brain now, where whatever I decide is up." So it's crazy. Yeah. So they show like a photo or video, and he's like working one way on a laptop.
Just
Another person's upside down working this way. And you're like, that must be so weird.
I reckon it takes so long to get used to as well.
Yeah.
But then once you're used to it, it'd be like, this is great.
Yeah. I read his like biography, I guess. He's got a super cool book, and he talks about his journey of becoming an astronaut, but then even adjusting afterwards. But it's just nauseating. Apparently, like as soon as you're up there, the first couple of weeks, you're just vomiting everywhere, which they don't really talk about. That you kind of have on the movies this picture of like as soon as you reach zero gravity, you're just floating around and everything's cool. He's like, everything is cool and we are floating around, but your body has zero idea what's going on.
Yeah.
It's just screaming.
That makes
at
sense.
You. Yeah. But then, like he said, coming back to Earth,
Same deal.
well, they can't hold their head up, because he's like,
True.
all of a sudden you like get back to Earth and your head feels like it's like a bowling ball, because it's your neck for,
Because you don't have to like lift your head
yeah,
up.
there's no force on your neck.
Yeah.
And so they're just all weak. Apparently, like your spine compresses as well. Like you
It
become,
expands in space because there's
Yeah.
no gravity pulling you down.
and so they have like these, like a lot of their day is working out. Like they have these, they've seen those treadmills and
Like
stuff,
straps them in.
straps them in.
Just so they don't get muscle
Yeah,
atrophy.
because they were working out that before they started doing the research, astronauts were coming back and just like not walking for the rest of their life because their bones and muscles were just like, I don't know what to do anymore. There's too much gravity.
Yeah.
Great, yeah. I'd never thought about that, but it's pretty crazy, hey.
That's why I think like in science fiction they've got those space stations that are like just an absolute centrifuge.
Yeah,
They just spin around and just simulate gravity for you.
yeah.
Like, have you seen Elysium, the movie? With Matt Damon? Where he has
Oh,
like the
yeah.
exoskeleton?
That's the one how there's like the rich
ring.
people are up the
Yeah,
top,
yeah.
hey, yeah.
And it's just spinning constantly to
Yes.
simulate gravity.
Yeah, I've seen that on. Was it on Interstellar?
Yeah, they had the
They
same
do
thing
that,
there, I
and
think.
on the one that has what's the chick from the Hunger Games? Do you know her?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Had her and Chris Pratt.
Yep.
What was it? I started with
It's
F, I
Stranger
think.
or something.
I can't remember.
Passengers.
Passenger had that one.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
they two of them, they wake up.
Mm.
Everyone else is asleep still.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just big ass ring or whatever.
Mm.
Pretty crazy, eh?
Yeah. It makes sense though.
Yeah, it does make sense. I remember looking at it the first time going, what? Why are they all spinning? And then I'm like,
Makes
gravity.
sense now, yeah.
Yeah. I guess that would work in real life. Because
And
you
there's
are.
like Star Trek, they're like, turn on the gravity.
Yeah, it's just this.
Just
this
do barrel
shit.
rolls and you'll be fine.
Yeah. In the, what, not Millennium Falcon, that's Star Wars. I can't remember.
Enterprise, I think,
Enterprise, that's the one. Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that's all the space stuff's really interesting. I was like a big space nerd for like a year.
Mm.
I do these things where I just go on like tangents and obsess over things.
Oh, I love space and stuff. Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 significant astronomical events happening that are observable with a telescope.
Yeah,
Like
at the moment or this
year.
What's
yeah,
that?
like
What are
I
they?
think several blue moons or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
I know in a couple of weeks' time, Mars and the moon are going to be like so close together that you can see them like going in front of each other.
Yeah, right. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, like heaps of stuff like that. I think it was a meteor shower in January.
Yeah.
Like heaps of cool stuff. And like I've got them in my calendar because I'm going to look out my telescope and have a
Yeah,
look.
that's cool. I always miss stuff like that.
Mm.
I like the eclipses that we've had.
Mm.
I was
Yeah,
like,
I think there might be a lunar eclipse this year.
Oh, okay. What's
Maybe.
a lunar eclipse is?
The sun's behind us and we're looking up at the moon.
So you can actually see
It's
it.
the safe one, yeah.
Yeah, whereas the other one's a solar eclipse, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Where
think
you
that's
go
bad because like there's still the same amount of light or something, but no, it's not the same amount of light. Because it like comes around the Earth, and if you see like a shadow, there's a dark spot, but then there's like a blurry spot.
Okay.
I can't remember what that's called, but it's like the light's kind of like refracted around it a little bit.
Yeah, right.
And that's what's making it dangerous. It's that sharp light that's...
And it'd be lots of radiation off that as well.
It's not any more than usual, but it's like looking up at the sun and holding your gaze on it. Like, it sucks. It hurts.
I remember one time I was taking some photos, and I don't know why, but I had like a telephoto lens on, so I was like super zoomed in. And I was like doing these ones, and I looked straight at the sun.
Oof.
I'm surprised. Apparently, it's like really bad for your camera.
Yeah.
Because the sensor's just like, I have no idea what's going on. See you later.
Did you cop it in the eye as well?
Yeah, I did.
Rough.
And so you're copying it through. Mine's not a mirrorless camera, so it's the viewfinder is a mirror down. But yeah, that's pretty brutal. I wouldn't want to be doing that for too long.
Yeah. Oh, I remember what it's called. It's called the umbral zone, I believe, of like the shadow. Because like, I don't know if I can demonstrate it, but you probably know what I'm talking about. How like the middle part of the shadow is really dark, but then it like blurs on the edges. Yeah. It's that blurred zone.
Because if you've got something light behind something, you're
still copying the light, but you're not getting the middle section.
And so people don't realize, and they just stare at it for ages. Yeah, wow. But you're crazy.
Because at the same time, because it doesn't have that central light, your retina opens up and lets even more light in.
How do you?
Burns your retina.
So is it like really bright though?
No, it's not bright.
So how do you go blind then if?
Because it like
you can't see it.
Essentially, like it's the same thing if you look at light. Like it's not just the shadows as well, but if you look at a light, like even if you like squint your eyes and make it a little bit blurry, the central part is really bright, but the outer side is blurry.
Yes, yeah.
But because you're cutting out that middle section, you're still getting that light around the outside.
Okay, yeah, right.
And so your eye thinks, oh, there's not that much light, but there's still enough to burn your eye.
Still enough to burn your eyes.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't take that much to burn your eyes.
No, it really
either.
doesn't.
Yeah, that's why
like you stare at the sun for like 20 seconds straight and you won't be able to see for a day.
And sunglasses are really important, hey?
Even with sunglasses, looking directly at the sun.
Oh, it's
still not enough.
It's insane how bright it is. Occasionally, you look at it accidentally.
You go past it and you got like a streak across your eyes.
Holy moly! I don't think it's so bright.
Yeah,
and then I'm like, yeah, it's still so friggin' far away. Like, and then I think, how are we going to live on Mars? It's not going to happen. Well, it is, but I don't know how it's going to happen. Not in my lifetime, that's for sure.
I mean, there'll probably be some people living there, but I'm not going.
The ones with hay fever. Like those ads. There you go. There's some more marketing. I don't know what.
Just send the people there that can't suffer from pollen.
Yeah. I can't live on the planet anymore. I don't even know what
Barry, we need you to work in botany.
Maybe that's Zyrtec or something. Yeah. I don't know. This is becoming like the advertisement podcast. Yeah. Tell me about Gents Camp.
Gents Camp, yeah.
You were telling me the other day that you're now a director of...
Yeah. Not the head director, like a... I don't know. So I started off in Gents Camp as a camper back in the day.
Yep.
Then became an assistant leader.
What is Gents Camp?
Gents Camp is a camp for boys, grades 6 to 10.
Yep.
7 to 10. And it's all about, like, our goal is to show them authentic Christian faith and what real manhood looks like.
Okay.
And how, like, men have spots of weaknesses, men have emotions, men... are okay to cry. Like we say, Jesus cried and he had emotions and he had fear, and we try and show them that as a man it's so important to recognize that and be okay with it, as well as trying to exemplify Jesus in that.
Yeah.
I'm really passionate about it, and like one reason I'm so passionate about it as well is that these boys don't know what boundaries are sometimes, because some of them come from broken families and whatnot, and we just try and teach them like what respect is and stuff like that. And it's like not like we force it down their throats, but they just get it.
What do you mean by boundaries? Like what boundaries are you talking about?
So one, for example, like on Gents Camp, there's sometimes boys like to be boys and be rough, and sometimes boys are like throwing around and pushing each other. I'm like, boys, not on the concrete. Come on the grass.
Okay, yeah.
And like because I'm one of the head directors, Sandy Bickerton. He's a teacher at City Point.
Okay.
And he said that boys need to push the line before they learn where it is.
Yep.
And if you keep holding them back, they'll just want to keep pushing it, and they'll want to, break the rules and get out and rebel. But if you
100%.
let them go there and go, okay, you crossed the line, you went too far, that's fine, just back it up a step.
Yeah.
Then they know, and they go, oh, cool.
Yeah, no, yeah. I remember that's been so true in my life. Not so much anymore. But yeah, I guess so much. As soon as somebody says, you can't do that, I'm like, well, guess what I'm about to do?
Yeah.
You know?
Like if you do it and then make the mistake and you go, I see the consequences.
Yeah, I want to find out why I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, not with every part of my life because that would be a train wreck. But yeah, as a boy, I was exactly like that. I needed to see. I needed to figure out what was the line, and for some that's different. That's different for some than others. But that's awesome. And so it's all it's all about trying to help these boys understand all the stuff that if they can kind of start to get a hold of that, it's going to make their life so much better, easier, and their relationships, and that's really cool.
Yeah, and like that's like the main thing because it's about the campers. But then we also have like the assistant leadership program where we have our grade 11 and 12s who want to become leaders one day, and we say, all right, we're going to put you through the ringer. You're going to have to do some hard work and develop that servant leadership.
Yeah.
And I went through that and I loved it. And I think I came out.
What do you mean
man.
What do you mean by hard work? Like cleaning toilets,
no,
things like that, or not really?
Yeah, I did because we had one time a gastro breakout, and so we gloved up and went and cleaned all the toilets, and that was not fun.
No,
but it had to be done.
That would have been a crappy situation.
Literally, yeah. And yeah, like it's about like things need to be done. All the leaders can't do everything because we need to make sure we're supervising the boys.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like cleaning up activities or setting up our tribal wars, we need you guys, assistant leaders, to get in and do it. And we have a bunch of assistant leaders from Gateway, so a lot of the grade 12s this year, and they love it.
Yeah. It's important, hey.
Yeah, it's really good. But like it wasn't always like that. Like it was. Like you said, it was like the cleaning toilets. It was pretty crap back in the day. Like when I was an assistant leader, we were not abused, but we were like pushed a little bit too far, I'd say.
Yeah.
It was more for entertainment than actually to develop that certain heart, that servant heart.
Yeah.
And when I became a director, after I was told, "Hey, you've been abusing the ass leaders a little bit too much," I was like, something needs to change about that. And so the directorship team, we kind of just like, how can we fix it?
Yeah.
And we just changed our perspective and we said, all right, they're here to serve and to help, but they're not here as entertainment for us to treat as slaves.
Yeah, you're not there to exploit them.
Yeah, like we have fun with them sometimes. Like I'll say to the boys, all right, one of the assistant leaders, I need a drink, but I don't want coffee. I want you to surprise me. And they'll bring me cordial. I'm like, I didn't want cordial. And it's like, I'll just have fun with it. But I'm not like throwing it in their face or saying, get down and give me 50 push-ups. You did it wrong.
Yeah.
Like it's mucking around sort of fun.
Yeah.
And it was that parts of it when I was an assistant leader that I loved. And I was like, I'm going to keep that from it. But I'm going to just shred away the abuse because that's not beneficial.
Nobody wants that.
Like one of them, we'd like, when we go to the beach, we'd dig a hole and they'd get all the assistant leaders in there and they'd bury us alive.
Yeah, right.
And it used to be fun the way it was like that. We get buried and we go, all right, now we got to get out on our own. But then it got to the point where they were like throwing the sand in our face, making us pull our pants open so they can throw the sand in there.
Yeah.
I copped a few shovels to the head because they just weren't caring.
Yeah,
and I was like, this is a crap.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying this.
It makes people hate it.
Yeah, and I'm sure the campers watching are like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And, I was like, we can't do that anymore.
So it sounds like there's a lot of sort of, is there like, how long has this thing been going for, Gents Camp?
2001, I believe, was the first one that happened.
So what's that?
19 years now.
19 years, almost 20 years or something. Yeah, wow, okay.
It's got a bit of a legacy.
And so does it have a lot of like sort of traditions that have like, that come through, like different things that you do?
Well, most of it's just like traditional culture that we have. Like we have the chop, where if someone does something publicly stupid or like do something where we just chop them, we do like a channel, whoa, whoa, and it's just like, you done goofed, kid. But it's all in like good spirit.
It's like a public shaming, but in good spirit.
Yeah, I've been chopped heaps. Like literally couldn't count the times I've been chopped. Stuff like that. We just have fun culture. We just make chants. Like,
sweet.
There's heaps we could do. There's one where we just started chanting, "What's this? What's going on?" Because like something happened and we just didn't know. Like, we just make up chants that are just
random
weird
stuff.
and wacky, but it's that sort of fun revelry that gets the kids going. Like, this place is great.
And so did you go on that as you obviously went on that as a camper. Like
Yeah,
as a
I only
kid.
went on one as a camper.
Okay.
And then Dan Foster, who was the director for so long and just made Gents Camp so amazing,
Yeah.
was like, hey, come as an assistant leader. And I
Okay.
was like, all right.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what I was getting into. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay, this is tough but worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then after that, became a leader. Then I became a tribal chief and then was invited to be an assistant director. And yeah.
So it sounds like that's a big passion. Is kind
I
of
love Gents
investing
Camp.
into
Yeah.
young guys.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
I think I'm going in Easter, and this will be, I believe, my 13th or 14th Gents Camp in my life.
Oh, okay. So you've done a lot.
I've done quite a few,
Yeah,
but
right.
not nearly as many as some of the other directors. Like Sandy, I think has done 26 or 7.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
he's a teacher though, so he gets the holidays off anyway.
Oh, so is there more than one a year then?
Yeah, we have 2 secondary camps, one in Easter, one in September. Then we have like father-son in summer. There's some far north Queensland. I think there's some in South Australia.
Okay, wow.
I
I didn't realize it was so big.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
big.
thought it was just one camp
Yeah.
some at a place.
I think we started one in I think we had one in Belgium or something.
Okay.
We've had a few in Africa. We
Yeah,
had
Like people
boys
from
sponsored.
Africa going to it or people,
no, people
fly over?
from here in Australia fly over,
Yeah.
but they have people there, like youth workers that help out.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had some. I think we had Kenya.
Yeah,
I
right.
can't remember specifically what countries, but we had a few in Africa, and I think we started one up in Romania last year or something
Okay.
like that.
So is that something
Yeah.
you want to pursue further, I guess? Like, you talk the way that you're talking right now, you're very passionate, sound like very passionate about it.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if there'll ever be a paid position for me, but I mean, if there is one, I'll.
Well, yeah, but not even
go for it.
not even in say Gents Camp, but like even in this this whole idea that you've got around like passion for investing into sounds like young guys especially.
Yeah, well, I've been doing. This is my 6th year of youth leading now.
Yeah.
and I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. We just came back from youth camp,
Yeah.
and I remember one night during like the worship, I was up the back. And I was just watching all the youth up there, just, worshipping and having a great time. And I'm like, this is why I do youth camp, so that these guys can be in this safe space where they can express their reverence for God in whatever way they want.
Yeah.
I was like, this is perfect. These guys just get to come and love on God together, love on each other, and we get to come and encourage them and uplift them. And this is why I do youth. This is why I do Gents Camp and all that.
Yeah, awesome.
It's phenomenal.
That's really cool.
Because I remember when people made that space for me, and I got to do that when I was younger.
Yeah.
And like my leaders back in youth, Brad Saunders and Dale Lennon and Glenn. Like,
Wasn't
those
I
guys-
your leader then for like one year? No.
Oh no,
like,
Dale was my leader from like grade 10, 11, and 12, I think. But like,
I was a youth leader for like Tim Lucas calls me the worst youth leader ever because I lasted. I was only a youth leader for like a couple of months.
didn't you lead Josh Smith?
I led. Was he the with Matt Lightfoot and stuff?
No, that was my grade. Did you lead me?
Yeah, I was with Brad.
Oh, so yeah, we're probably the
and back.
reason.
Yeah, I was because then I got called away with work.
Mm.
So I was like, oh, it's not gonna work, Tim. I'm sorry, but yeah, he always says I was the worst.
No, it was probably us. We probably corrupted you.
Yeah. Oh, I was pretty corrupted already. I think I was ready to corrupt some other people. It'd be hard to corrupt me, to be honest. So yeah, I must have been your youth leader at one point. Yeah,
I probably remember it, but very vaguely. I know that you led me in young adults 2 years ago, 3 years.
Something like that.
Yeah,
yeah, with student stuff. That's cool. That's blowing up. That's going awesome,
yeah.
eh?
No, I'm leading a life group in students.
Really?
Yeah,
There you go.
the cycle continues, I suppose.
Legacy.
Yeah,
We must have done something good. Half good.
all year.
Yeah, I'd like to think it is. Thank you for that.
Well, I think it's really important, like legacy. Like I was saying with Brad and all that, those guys inspired me to become youth leaders. And then now the boys that I led are in grade 12 and they're going to be youth leaders. And it's just going to cycle around and around, and that influence is just going to go through the generations.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
like
it's amazing.
legacy is like one of the things I reckon that I think about the most when it comes to my life, planning out what I want to do.
Yeah.
I really just want to leave a good legacy.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to do. but it's you can start to do that in so many different ways. Yeah. What this is probably a big question, but like, what is your big? Do you have like a big goal for your life kind of thing? Like, I'm just listening to you and chatting to you. You're doing engineering. You seem really passionate about that. You're loving it. You've also got the stuff investing into young people on the side. Do you ever see that kind of marrying together, or like if you could kind of, like we all have, well, most of us I think have sort of a dream where we go, man, that'd be awesome to do that. What do you have an idea of what that would be for you? Or
like I don't have one big dream because I don't really want to put myself in a box.
Yeah.
Or moreover, put God in a box in what he can do in my life.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I do have a lot of little like spot dreams here and there that I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, Bloom and like what Gateway does for Bloom. Like I hear those stories and I'm just like rattled to the bone.
Yeah. Breaks your heart.
It really does. Yeah. And I've always thought that through my engineering and through the wealth that I'll inevitably be able to come to, I want to use that to influence that and to like help them save those girls. Because like these girls are born in a country without their choice. They don't have a say in it.
No.
They've got a crap situation that they can't really do anything about. But those of us who can do something about it should.
Yeah.
And I want to.
Yeah.
And I'm really passionate about helping that.
That's awesome.
And more than just that, like Gents Camp as well. Like I'm not working at the moment. I've been struggling to find work experience in engineering, and because I did my thesis last year, I quit my job so that I could focus on that.
Yeah.
And like I'm struggling to even pay for Gents Camp as a director.
Yeah, right.
But I want to get to the point where when I'm working as an engineer that I can go, there's a youth kid at Gateway who wants to go on Gents but can't afford it. I'll just pay for him.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Like little things like that, like just tiny things, but to that kid, that could change his life. That could be the moment where he goes on Gents Camp, finds God in a powerful way, connects with people his age, and just, runs for gold.
So it's using that vocation, that passion that you have for that to then to give you the resources to then feed into these and support and partner with. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Little things like that. Like, and I've always, here in Brisbane, we've got quite a few homeless people around Brisbane. And I know the city campus is thinking of starting doing some stuff like a care centre and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to help.
Definitely, yeah. Awesome.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I can't do anything now because I haven't graduated yet. I can't do anything. But
so it sounds like you have a real heart for, I was going to say the broken, but not every kid on Gents Camp is a broken kid.
No.
Like
there are a lot of rich kids that come along with
camp and just have but you want to see people. You have a heart to see people, and I'm putting your words in your mouth. You have a heart to see people reach their potential.
Yeah,
like the girls from Bloom, for instance. You have, as you say, they've been born into this terrible situation. They have the potential to do so much more with their life and be so much more. They just need people to come alongside and give them that helping hand.
Exactly.
Same as the homeless people out there or these kids, these boys, Yeah, that's really cool.
Like most people's situations can't be helped. And we, put it bluntly, our Australian white privilege, we have so much given to us just by inherently being born in Australia.
Yeah.
And there's so much that we can give to help those who don't have that opportunity.
Yeah. I don't know if that's this is where I'd probably push back a little bit, I guess. Okay. I'm not going to get into that, but I don't know if necessarily like a white privilege, for instance. I think it's more just like an Australian privilege.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
not necessarily a white privilege, but you know what I mean.
I do what I mean. I'm not going to go down that rabbit path.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know what I believe there, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah. We, born in this country,
have incredibly
an inherent potential.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We hit the jackpot.
We really have.
Like, I reckon I only realised that I only really understood how much we hit the jackpot like 5 years ago or so.
Yeah.
What am I complaining about?
We really don't have much to
I have every opportunity. Like literally whatever I want to do, pretty much within, bar like a couple of things, I guess. Like I probably couldn't become like the top basketball player in the world. It's not going to happen. Like I'm just not genetically. In fact, probably the top player in anything, I'm probably not going to genetically do that. But
you have an opportunity to try.
I had the opportunity to try, but also like with enough like hard work, persistence, like I have the opportunity to get pretty damn close. You know, probably not to the sport because it's just I'm too old now, but like businesses, for instance, or like I want to be able to do that and I want to have that influence. The only way that's ever going to happen is by working hard and actually doing it.
Yep.
Like I think that's one of the reasons why I really started to go hard on this podcast, for instance. Like I'm studying design. It's incredible. I want to become a graphic designer, but I think my bigger dream is I really want to be someone who can sit here and chat to all different people and have listeners and the guests learn the skills to, you know, become better people and just find stuff interesting and this sort of thing. But the only way that's going to happen is by sitting and talking to people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I'm never going to wake up one day and get a phone call and they're like, "Hey man, just want to let you know that you're now the top 10 podcast." It's not going to happen. Like it's not going to happen.
It'd be nice though.
Yeah, it would be awesome if that's how it happened. But the only way to do it is to do it. You know, I think one of the sort of my mantra, I guess, is progress over perfection. Because I had a crack at this podcast. Well, when was it? Last year, maybe even the year before. Now I don't even know. And I did 4 episodes, right? And I was comparing them to like some of the podcasts that I listen to, which come back to Joe Rogan. He's done like 1,700 episodes. Yeah, like of course he's going to be good after. Yeah, if he's not good after 1,700 episodes, and good is subjective, but he's good at having a conversation.
He's really good at it.
Working through.
His episodes like 3 hours long or something.
Some of them are, yeah.
That's crazy.
And but then some of them are like 50 minutes or whatever. You know, he's only got that from putting in the work. Exactly. Doing the episodes, one episode after the other. And it might be not until the 110th episode that people actually start taking notice, like in bulk, I guess. It might be the 300th episode. Yeah. But as long as every single time I'm trying to do what I'm doing better and have interesting people on, make them feel valued and comfortable, and then hopefully have people listening who can listen to it and walk away and go, that was worth listening to, that added value to my life, then that's all you can do. Yeah. You know? But I feel like that's a lesson that we can take in every part of our life. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just this whole idea of you just got to do it. Like, there's no magic pill, like no magic bullet for anything. Like, yeah. I remember like I spent ages reading books trying to find like the secret to success. And like, I think the secret to success is actually just not quitting. Yeah.
Yeah. Like an expert is someone who just hasn't quit.
Yeah.
Like I got my black belt in Taekwondo in like grade 11 or something.
Yeah, nice.
And
awesome.
One thing they say is like a black belt isn't someone who doesn't fail. A black belt is someone who has failed 1,000 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Like it's 100%
so
true.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think like Jay-Z, he's got a quote that's like, our biggest strength was that we just never quit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we just didn't. All our competition quit, but we just kept going. Or like Michael Jordan, I think it's Michael Jordan talks about like you miss
all the shots you don't take.
Yeah, something like that. 100% of the shots you don't take, like this sort of thing. Like, it's fascinating all that. And they're like, you can just listen to those quotes and be like, which I used to do a lot of time. I'd be like, oh, that's wonderful, and then like not apply any of that to my own life. Yeah, was what I'm trying to be really disciplined around now. Just every week, just keep knocking something out. You know, every day, as long as I've done something towards this podcast, making it happen. It's a win. Yeah, I've got like those big calendars, like you see like it's like an A3 calendar, and this is old school, but pretty much if I do something towards the podcast, I just put a cross on, like a red cross on that day. Oh yeah. And my goal is to not have a break between the crosses, you know. Okay. Just so that I've just worked that I know that I've worked on this at least every day, you know. Well, not at least every day, every day. Yeah. Yeah. But it's pretty it's really fascinating. And I'm really passionate about that at the moment. Okay. Like talking to people and going, you just got to do it. Like, the whole Nike thing, like just do it, you know. Like,
and who knows? Maybe keep at it. Could be something big.
Yeah, who knows? Like, I don't know. It would be like, I'll be honest, it would be awesome if this was like my job. Great. It's hard in Brisbane, but even then, there's plenty of awesome people around. You know, like that shouldn't stop us. You know, so I feel like you can find a reason to not do something with anything. There's a million reasons that I could think of that I could be like, oh shit, that's probably not the best idea, but that's what I want to do. Just keep doing it until something catastrophic happens. Yeah. Or my wife gets really angry, which is probably not too far off. Nah, she's cool. But what about? Yeah, now I'm trying to think what else we got to talk about. That's about it. There's nothing else you want to share, really?
I think you mentioned something that we were going to talk about. I can't remember.
Gents camp.
Did that. I mean, I could talk about Gents camp more. I've got so much to talk about. I love Gents camp.
You love it. The goals. What do you? Yeah. Now, what do you like? The big goals. I liked what you're talking about actually, about having like those little things to hit. So what do you reckon is in the next couple of years, what's your, like, you got anything that you want to obviously find a job?
Yeah.
I'm guessing is a big one.
Big one is job. I'm thinking I'm not going to move out for a little bit because I'm still at home.
Yeah.
I'm just going to, I think, save up for a house deposit or something.
Yeah.
It's like the market at the moment is pretty bogus.
Yeah.
There's no point renting and then trying to save up at the same time.
It's pretty rough. Trust me.
Yeah, like my parents are so loving. They're like, you can stay at home as long as you want.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, eventually they'll probably be like, all right, get out.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Is it just you? Do you have...
I've got a sister.
You got a sister. How old is she?
She is turning 20 this year.
Okay.
And she will be moving out and be married next year. Like, 3 years younger than me, and she's a couple of years ahead of me. It's pretty crazy. But
so is she actually engaged or something?
Not yet, but they will be.
Okay, yeah, right.
Like, there's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
They've been together for nearly 4 years now, from high school, and love each other to bits and honor God in their relationship. And all power to them.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you'll be the bachelor at home.
Yeah.
Sort of the bachelor with your parents.
Yeah.
It's becoming more common though. I'm hearing like, because it is expensive. Hey.
Yeah.
And when it's nothing compared to like Sydney, Melbourne, some of those places, but it is tough.
Yeah,
definitely.
and like I'd love to move out. I'd love to have that independence and you know experience life on my own, but it's just not the best decision yet.
It's tough to move out by yourself. It's really, unless you can find like a flat, like a granny flat or something.
Like if I had to move to Sydney for work, by all means I'd have to. I have no choice.
Yeah.
But I mean, while I live close to like everything that I do, I live close to church, close to uni, close to where I hopefully would be working at Worley if I do get that position.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
Might as well just stay where I am.
Yeah, makes sense. I think I was a little bit different. I think I jumped pretty much as soon as I could move out. I moved out. But it was a bit different as well. Like I have a couple of brothers, and I lived by myself, and I was lucky that I got like a bargain of a deal of a little, like I was just living underneath a house in Bulimba.
Oh yeah.
There's not much. It was a nice place. Very grateful to live there, but it was like not the most comfortable place ever. But yeah, it is rough. Like even we're renting here, and we're still got it right. Like we still save up and go on holidays and things like that. But we've kind of, I think it also comes down to like priorities. Like for some people, priority is buying a house, doing all these sort of things. Whereas Danny and I, we kind of found ourselves, I think, not falling into the trap, that's not the right word, but kind of categorizing our life, I think, and being like, there's a process that we have to follow because that's what everybody else is following. Like, you know what? We can keep saving, but we want to go to Europe as well. Let's go to Europe on a holiday and enjoy these things because we know that unless things drastically change, when we do buy a house, there's a lot of kind of knuckling down to keep paying off that mortgage, you know, like it's hard. It is harder to go and just be free and do some things. And so I think it's also personal priorities around like, this is the way I want to do it. And there's no right or wrong answer, I don't think. Like my brother my younger brother, he's very much get a job, get a house, do this sort of thing. But I'm like, that's great. Do whatever. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Not yet. This doesn't feel right to me,
Yeah.
you know. And that's something we all have to be okay with as well. And kind of like take people's advice. Like my parents, for instance, they're that old school generation where they're like, there's a definite formula to how your life should look. Because I'm like, I appreciate your advice. Thank you. I know you're doing it out of love, but I'm not going to do it. You know? Well, I am, but just not in necessarily the same time frame and order that you would like to see it.
Yeah, like I'm probably going to be staying home for another 2 years or so, but
that's not a long time.
Who knows?
Though.
Yeah, who knows? If I meet someone and decide to get married, I'm not going to be living at home.
No,
I'm
exactly.
Be moving out,
and you just make it work. Hey, like it's there's plenty of ways. You just life's one of those things where you kind of. I was speaking to somebody this morning at breakfast, and they're like, "Oh, I have all these like plans, and I feel like it's not necessarily going according to the plan I had, like life is." They're like, "I don't necessarily know if it ever goes according to the plan." Like, you know, so often, and in my life, it's been true. But you hear about it so often where people go, "This is the goal I want, and this is the trajectory I'm going to take to get it." But when they actually reach that goal and they look back, they're like, "Oh man, it was like a winding," and there were things that felt like burdens along the way that actually then they equipped me to kind of move into the next thing, to finally reach that goal. And so I was kind of like, it's great, have a goal, work towards that, but don't put so much pressure and be upset that it's not necessarily the exact path that you're expecting.
Yeah,
which is comforting. I find that really comforting.
Yeah.
But I also think there's a balance there. Like you can't just wander around in life. You have to have a goal.
If you don't have goals, then you don't have any motivation.
Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah. And but the thing is though, there are plenty of people out there who just don't have any sort of goal. And it's sad.
I don't get it.
No.
I need to have some sort of end point.
Yeah. Something to work towards. I find it sad, but I also, the selfish side of me is like, more opportunity for me then. You know, less competitors. Though, like those sort of things. Like, one of the things that my dad used to say is like, it doesn't take much to be above average anymore. Like, it's like, and that's something that's kind of stuck with me. I'm like, there's only a small amount more that you sometimes have to do to stand out in that crowd and be above average. And I try to, with most things that I do, to be like, how can I do that extra bit? Not to stand out as in recognition necessarily, but just to add more value than anybody else. And like even in some of the design work I've been doing for other people, it's like, how can I be the best possible person for you to work with? Like, how can I make the process easy? You feel like you're in control and being valued, and we just work together so that eventually if something else then comes up, they go, "Oh, that's right, I worked with Richo and it was really easy and he did good work.
Yeah.
Let's talk to him again and see if he wants to do some more work." Whereas if you're the guy who's like, "Oh, he did good work, but then he was a pain in the ass to work with and he stuffed us around and he was late, like he didn't hit his due dates and stuff," they're probably not going to ask you back.
Yeah.
Unless you're like incredible compared to like, you know, you see these artists and people that they are annoying, but they do incredible work. And so it's a trade-off. But yeah, I don't know how we got talking about that, but
yeah, me either. But like on that topic, like one thing I strive to be as a potential employee is to be the best I can for the company.
Yeah.
Because like I was just listening to the Craig Rochelle podcast on the way over, and he's saying bosses have a mindset of working on the business as opposed to employees who work for the business.
Yeah.
And you should have that mindset of like trying to work on the business to make it better.
Yeah.
Think like a boss even though you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you want to be the best employee you can. You want your employees to go, "We hired you for a reason and we're glad we did."
Yeah. And it just pays off in the long run as well. You be like the whole thing, you hear it a lot, be like irreplaceable. Like make yourself irreplaceable.
Yeah.
So that when they go, "Oh, it'd be so much hard work to find another Brandon.
Yeah.
Because he just does such good work, and he's all for it, like. And that's so important. And you just do that in every part of your life. I have this thing. I have a lot of things, I guess, that I kind of use to help my life. It's this whole idea of like there's a version out there of myself who's like he is taking every opportunity and doing he has the he's living life to the potential, to the maximum potential that he has. So every opportunity that I have, he's taking them, doing his best. Where at the end of the day, when I die, I'm going to meet this dude, and I want to be like, hey man, I know you so well, like we're pretty much the same person.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh, I don't even know you at all. Like you're the person I could have been.
Yeah.
And it sounds trivial, but I kind of think about that a lot, where I'm like, what would that other version of myself be doing in this situation? Would he be slacking off and being lazy, or would he be running at this with everything he's got? Or alternatively, would he go, this is not helping me in any way, I'm going to cast that aside, or it's not helping anybody else in any way, cast that aside and focus on something that does help. I used to play Xbox a lot. Like there's still an Xbox there. It's still great. It's fun. But I found myself wasting a lot of time. When I was bored, I would play Xbox. And so I ended up playing Xbox a lot. And I got to the point where I was like, this is fun, but it is not helping me at all. Like I'm not learning anything here. And maybe unless you're playing like some puzzle game or something, but even then you're not really learning. Is this helping me achieve my goals? No. And so that was where I would go, oh, would this other version of myself, not playing Xbox is fine. I still do it with mates and stuff. But I'm like, okay, I have a spare hour here. What is the best use of my time? Is it to play FIFA online? Maybe it is sometimes. But maybe I should go and work on my podcast. I can call a guest or, read a book or something, things like that. And I need those things. I need those processes in my head to pull me out of that situation where I can analyze and go, I need to go and do that. Because otherwise I just go into automatic mode and start playing Xbox. And before you know it, you're like 6 games in. I've lost all of them because I'm useless. And I got beaten 12-0 the other day by some dude. And it was like on a Wednesday during the day. So I was like, you're not at school, you're not at work, you're a uni student, or this is all you do is play. And I reckon he was like a professional gamer or whatever.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was like, I give up. And after I was like, I'm going to go and do something productive rather than getting angry at this person I've never met before in my life over a fake game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. Hey, I find that.
It's a good philosophy of like.
Yeah, I find it helpful. Definitely. I think there's that philosophy. You can play that out in there's many other ways that is described, but that's like kind of the 3 that I use as a bit of a framework that helped me. Just to kind of pull yourself, as I said, like pulls you out of that moment where you can analyze it. So you don't just go into like automatic mode and pick up an Xbox controller or go and do something else. You kind of like, hang on, is this the best use of my time right now? And sometimes the best use of my time is just chilling out for an hour. Nothing wrong with that. But also, if you just do that, nothing else gets done. Exactly. If that's all you do. But yeah,
like you've probably had a time where you've been doing that. And Danny's come home and said, "You didn't do the dishes or something."
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like I didn't think of it.
Definitely.
Because it got distracted. That's the same thing with me. Not with a wife, but with my mum.
Yeah.
It's like, told you to do this. Yep, you did.
Yeah. Happens a lot. Yeah. Happens to all of us. But I think it's just about trying to have a plan and go, I want to be the best version of myself. What's going to help me get there? Yeah. And like doing...
It's even just that stepping back to realize what is the best use of my time. That I think is so important.
Yeah, definitely. And it's something that I think more and more as a society, just coming full circle back to technology, we don't have a choice a lot of the times because we're just getting stuff just thrown at us all the time. Like, you know, on our phone, for instance, I've tried to turn all my notifications off because so often you like find yourself focusing on something and then your phone goes bing and then you're like, oh, what's that? And you look at it and it might be a notification from a Facebook notification. Before you know it, I'm looking at like dash cam videos on Facebook because you know how like Facebook, I find Facebook videos crazy how you can just keep scrolling through.
Always something else.
Oh, and it's always like the one you've clicked on because it's all related videos. And you're just stuck in like a trance. And so I'm like, no, I have to like, that's not a good use of my time right now. Maybe it is when I'm lying in bed and I just need to wind down. Like yesterday I watched half an hour video and it was like the best news bloopers of 2019.
Oh, yeah.
And I started watching, I'm like, oh, here we go, another one of these. It was the friggin' best one I've ever seen. It was hilarious.
Some of those are pretty funny.
And because it was all just anchors, like it was all just the news people, the news readers. Man, some of them.
Have you seen that one? Who's like Australian talking about the Ashes, and he's like, "How can something so small be so impressive?" You know all about that.
Oh, you know all about that. And he just like gives her
TV.
like this like deaf look. Hey, you're like, oh, there must have been something else going on in the background over that one.
Ugh.
Definitely, that one was on it. Yeah,
Yeah, I love that one.
there was like another one I like. I think they were in New York City, and it was during like some blizzard. And she's like, it's at nighttime. This lady's like reporting, and there's just snow everywhere and stuff. And there's these two runners.
Oh, there's.
But she's like, you know, it's just like, she's like, why are you running out here? And she's like, you know, and she's so like woke, like this kind of like, I'm such a new age person. So it's just the best running conditions. Like it's really soft underneath the foot, lots of grip, and all this thing. And then she goes off and just like straight on her butt. And it was just so funny because you're like, this girl thought she was incredible, and it sucks for her, but hilarious for the rest of us.
I remember seeing one where it was like reporting live or something, Stu pretending that like the weather was crazy. It's like this huge storm, and he's like leaning into the wind, and there's just people walking behind him casually.
Yeah, it's like they're like in a blizzard or a hurricane or whatever.
Like,
and
it's crazy out here. And it's just people walking past them.
There's an awesome. Have you ever watched South Park before?
Not really, no.
There's like a funny South Park clip about that because South Park they just like take the mickey out of everything. It's the best. And they do one around like the news reporting like that, and they like there's this huge big story that's going on, and they zoom out, and there's just nothing else happening. Like the way that they over exaggerate everything. Yeah, it was so good. That I never grew up watching South Park, but I don't necessarily watch like all the episodes, but I watch like I have a whole bunch of clips because they'll like do something on a particular topic that's modern at the moment, and it is funny. Like I find it funny anyway.
Yeah,
it's just like
I've seen some of them.
You guys have an interesting, like, such a funny, like an awesome view on the world, where like nothing is sort of off limits, but they kind of use humor to then make it like these terrible situations. And from the outset, you look at the joke, and you're like, oh, that's not cool. But then you're like, that's kind of like what humor is. It's meant to be is this kind of taking a bad situation, making light of it, and then after the joke, we can all go back and actually be sad about that thing. You know what I mean? Like, but for that 30, like a stand-up comedian, some of them are like brutal, but for that 30 minutes, we can laugh about stuff and laugh at ourselves and laugh at others, and then afterwards, it's like, okay, back to serious now. Yeah. Like these people that think like the stand-up comedians, they're like that a lot of times what they joke about is what they believe. It's like, well, no. That's why it's called a joke. Yeah. I don't know. I'm like a bit anti-PC culture. Yeah. But sometimes it does go too far. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the sadness about like Kobe Bryant, for instance. There's this comedian called Ari Shafir, and he's American. But he's a Jewish guy, comedian. That's not really relevant, but he's quite a famous guy. But on the day of Kobe Bryant's death, he like released like a video being like, haha, like finally he's dead, all about this stuff, because he was like a alleged years ago, I think he sexually assaulted a woman or something, and it got all acquitted from it. He's like, finally, this guy's dead, and laughed about the kids. And even like a lot of his friends in the comedic world were like, this is not cool. Like, there's no humor. Like, they're like, I can't even find the joke in that. One, it's like bad timing, but also I don't understand the humor. And there are people out there that would find that funny, but these guys, like, they're not the audience I want. Like, and that for me, I was like, I used to have this thing where I was like, comedy can never go too far, but for me, that was a point where I'm like, no, actually, it can go too far, you know? Yeah, but I don't necessarily agree with there's these comedians that get pulled off stage because they make a joke about like a minority or someone. You're like, it's free speech. If you don't like it,
don't go to the show.
Just walk out, you know? You paid money to be there. Leave, you know?
Yeah.
Which is, it sounds really harsh.
It's true, though. They have a right to leave whenever they want.
Yeah, it's free speech. Just like the fact that you can call them something, they can call you something. That's not the world we necessarily want to live in, like that where it's just people being brutal to each other when it's not a joke. But I find that really interesting, the way that it's happening a lot more, where these people are getting censored and told what they can say and what they can't say.
Yeah.
But that's another 2-hour topic. That's the thing.
That's
anyway,
a big can of worms.
Yeah, exactly. And on that note, I reckon we should probably wrap this sucker up, because probably so we don't get too long. Don't get into the Joe Rogan 3 hours thing. I don't know.
How long are we at now?
An hour and 37.
Oh wow!
This is one of the longest ones so far.
There you go. It didn't feel that long, to be perfectly honest.
No, it went pretty quick. Hey, yeah, that's good. That's good. Hopefully it feels quickish. People are listening. But no, thanks for coming on, man. Like,
pleasure.
It was actually really fun sitting down, and I don't think we haven't talked about like this for ages.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever sat down really and had a longer conversation. But that's part of one of the reasons why I'm doing this, is to be able to have the opportunity, any excuse to kind of sit down and chat to people for a long time. So it's been great.
Thanks
for coming on. Good luck finding a job.
Thank you.
Hopefully Wally just Wally.
Just Wally now.
Not Mr. Parsons, probably not there.
Yeah.
Hopefully they come back and you get into that and
That'd be cool.
enjoy.
Thank you.
Good to see what happens in the future.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
See ya. Bye, everybody.